great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Hey, Saturday is always a fantastic day to talk hockey, right? Hockey night in Canada. Oh, man. Big games going on this afternoon. Just when it looks like things are going Habs' way, they don't. And isn't it been like that all season long, folks? Roller coaster. Welcome to the roller coaster ride that has been the 2025-26 season. Crazy. Just crazy. Looks like the Islanders, Florida was up 2-0 on the Islanders, and they just went, no, I don't think so. Popped 5 goals straight. And last I checked, they were up 5-2. Let me just double check. Yes. Same deal. Ottawa was up 2-0 on Tampa. Tampa comes back, scores 2. Islanders with 5 goals in the second period take a 5-2 lead. Or sorry, in the third period to take a 5-2 lead. Second period. Okay. I don't know why it's saying 3 minutes left in the third. But Heineman scored another one. Schaefer just keeps racking up the points, folks. 2 more assists for Matthew Schaefer as he pretty much puts a stranglehold on the Calder this year. Hey, gonna have a Calder winner and a finalist in back-to-back years. Not many teams have done that in history. So, you know, Demidov may not win the Calder this year, but damn good chance that he is a finalist, and that 3 Habs rookies are in the top 10 when it comes to voting. So GLG, hey, the big Flyers fan is joined us. He says, hey, Grant, big Flyers Wings game tonight. Absolutely. Flyers 7-game road win streak. Hope your favorite player, Michkov, shows up. Congrats on the nice run for your Habs. Yeah. Matvey, I was checking his stats the other day. He's about half of what he got last year, but hey, he'll have to ride the exercise bike in the off season this year. GLG, that's all. Maybe not go to Dubai, get in a car accident. Anyway, yeah. Flyers, I mean, it's pretty much impossible for them to make the playoffs at this point, but 7 games in a row on the road. Whew. I'll just praise Martone in the meantime. Yeah, well, he's been Martone's had a good freshman year in MSU there. Good. The Flyers have some good. To their credit, they went big in the last couple drafts, make up for all the small guys they got, and Berglund looks good. Martone obviously having a really good rookie year. Martone's playing at 4:30 this afternoon. MSU in a big matchup. We'll see if they can prevail. Michigan playing tomorrow, of course, and everybody's Habs fans are waiting with bated breath to see if Hage is going to play. I don't know if anyone's got any updates on that or who's getting the start tonight in the game. Has that been released yet for the Habs game? Yes, Penn State lost. So, Tyler Thorpe. We're going to talk about the torpedo here today. First of all, I just saw this post from Stu Cowan, my good friend, colleague, Stu. Molson's prices for the playoffs for season ticket holders. So, $676 in platinum. Prestige $517. This is round 1. Basically, the price of tickets for season ticket holders range from $130, which would be up in the nosebleeds, to $676. So not cheap for the first round. But get this, if they go to round 4, the price for cheap seats is like basically $400. Even the whites like $463. Well, the blue, sorry, is $286, but in gray $335, white $417, platinum starting at $1484 for a ticket for season ticket holders. So can imagine what it'd be like to try to get one, a platinum ticket round 4 if they ever make it. So you know, you don't think Molson wants the Habs to do okay in the playoffs? Yeah, I'd say that that's a good bet. So Michigan State's playing Wisconsin at 4:30 this afternoon. Keep an eye on that. North Dakota, Quinnipiac tonight. I might be a little preoccupied with another game at that point. How about Iceland and Canada? Anyone get a... Last I saw, Iceland was up. Iceland was up 1-0. Anyway, boys got to get rolling. They're going to compete in the World Cup this year. So, yes, back to the Torpedo. Well, let's have a look at the tail of the tape here. August 11, 2005. So he's 20 right up for another 4 or 5 months here, folks. So just a young lad, okay? 6'4", 231. 5th round pick by the Habs in 2024. Now, this is his rookie season in the AHL. And 62 games, 2 goals, 11 assists, 13 points, 66 PIMs. That's a pretty big number for a 20-year-old playing in the AHL. And he's had a few tilts. But obviously, that goal number, 2 goals, is not great. And if you saw the interview that I had with his coach from Manny Viveros, who coached him 2 years in Vancouver, he's got a good shot. He can score goals. He's just in looking at the game that I broke down here, and it's from last week. He's playing a very conservative defensive role. He's really playing back a lot. I think, and I like it. I like that. It's a similar thing with Florian Jacki too, where I think Pascal Vincent is trying to prep these guys for bottom line roles in the NHL, is what he's doing. And Thorpe's defensive play, very impressive. Very mature for a 20-year-old playing in the AHL. He's thinking defense first. And that's not often the case with a kid that young. But I think he understands, that he's going to have to that's going to be his ticket to the NHL is fourth line role. And fourth line role, play good defense. That's what's gonna get him there. And it won't be like I think he understands that he's not going to be a 30-goal scoring second line winger in the NHL. That's not likely to be his calling card. So what do you got to do? You gotta be sound defensively, hit, forecheck, back check, paycheck. But he's what I noticed in this game that I studied, he's almost like a third defenseman out there at times. He's back. Well, he wears number 6 and he's right shot and big, And if you didn't know better, in quite a few of these highlights, you'd think, oh, he's playing defense. He's right back in the crease area, moving guys out of the way, plays down low more than the center on his line quite a bit there, actually. And it was interesting to see, but I don't know if that's by design. But he's, for a 20-year-old playing in the AHL, his first pro season, it really is a sign of his maturity and the fact that he's unselfish. He cares as much or more about preventing goals than he does about scoring them. And that's not often the case with a young player. You play, you come from junior where you're an above average player and you still think, okay, I'm going to be a point producer. And it seems like he already has it figured out that, okay, reality check. I'm going to be a bottom 6 forward in the NHL if and when I make it. So I've got to play that way right from day one. So don't let those underwhelming stats fool you. I really like his floor. I think he's got a very high floor. Like he's going to play. He's going to play for Montreal. I see all the elements that Montreal is going to need in the future in a bottom 6 role, and that he's kind of like an ideal piece as far as I'm concerned. I think his floor is higher than Beck's and Jackie's and every other forward on Laval right now. He's got the highest floor. Like I think he's got I think he's the best bet to be a regular in Montreal's lineup at some point down the road. Now, I think Beck and Jackie will play as well. Maybe not both in Montreal, but they'll play. I'm almost 100% positive that Thorpe is going to be a winger on the Montreal Canadiens someday, and I'll show you the video, and maybe you can see where I'm coming from in that regard. Yeah, for his size at 20 years of age, he's a good skater. He does really move well. I like this forecheck there, but look, he's like the third defenseman back there. Didn't let the guy get around him. He's not easy to beat. He's got good length. So he's a good one-on-one defender, especially for considering he's a winger. But I almost think, they were having all those injury problems. They could have put him back on defense. Again, he gets to the puck, good range, gets over there, hits the guy, keeps the puck in. So solid, good opening shift for him there. But here he is back again, back in the middle. He really he doesn't let his winger get away. And again, Montreal could use a guy like that. They could use a couple more in the lineup. You see so many 3-on-2s against them. Again, look where he is. He's back, back covering and here again. You think he's a defenseman, right? Good, really solid defense there. Gets the puck again, wins the battle, gets it out. Like it. I mean, Pascal's got to like this kid. Next year, you watch, he'll have a big role and the stats will start coming. But again, what did he do? He was you'd swear he was a center or defenseman, or, he's pretty much the deepest forward back just about all the time here. And again, back looks like a defenseman there, doesn't he? Boxes out the guy again. I don't know if it's a system that the defenseman pinch up high and forward's got to cover. But again, what did he do? Still won the puck battle, got the puck, got it out. Here he is in the slot, got a shot off. Didn't get through. Again, where is he? He's back. Back covering the point. comes up on the play here. But good wide stick, long stick. I like how he back checks there too. Good speed, works, comes back hard on the back check and gets over to the guy on the boards, nails him. Very sound defensive structure already in his game. He's not hurting you out there at all. Here he is on the coming in on the forecheck. Gives him the old Subban bum check, or tried to. I like how he finishes his check. Big boy. Again, comes back good on the back check, and then in the defensive mode again, like you'd swear he was a defenseman watching these highlights, and I don't mind that because he's gonna be a checker. And then, again, they're hard to get around. He could play defense in a pinch. I'm positive of it. But if there's one complaint with this is sometimes, I don't know if like I know I was a winger growing up. You covered the defenseman, and he's not necessarily doing that. But I think maybe Pascal's system has the defenseman doing that at times and the winger back, because it's certainly the case. When Torpedo's out there on the ice. Makes himself available here. Gets the puck, takes the hit, gets it in, gets off. Again, a solid defensive shift. There he lost the puck, I guess you could say, but they got it back, and he got back into play, and they scored. So he was +1 there. Again, you see the Glasgow back there? He hits with authority. Wait till he's 23 and playing in the NHL and making a difference out there defensively. Good work by him to get the puck out. He hasn't killed a lot of penalties in Laval this year, but I see that in his future. Nice back check there. He is good defensively. There, finished his check again. Keeps the puck in, gets the puck to the net. Checks the guy. Almost kept it in, but decent anticipation. Reads the plays pretty well. Here, check out again, for a 6'4" guy, 20 years old, he can certainly keep up with the AHL pace, no problem. Here he is again doing his pseudo defenseman trick there. Cut off the pass. Canadians need more players with that long stick that can get it, get in lanes. I like this back check too. Look at this. He keeps I don't know how many times he thwarted forward coming in just by hustling his buns back and utilizing his speed for his size. Playing with Condata and Blais for the most part in this game. They were a pretty solid line. Some good size, strength on that line. Here he is, kind of a 2-on-1. It's too bad he was open there, but Blake couldn't get the puck over to him. Again, this is the end of a shift, and he still gets back into play. You see, got to show that again. Michael Hage leading the cheers at the Laval game. That surprised me. Okay, might not have been the Hage. There on that. Got to the puck again on the back check. Here he is deep. Gets the puck out without icing it. Good play. Again on the back check. Check this out. No. That he's going to be, a consummate bottom six. I see a consummate bottom six. Physical winger. You can chip in a bit of offense. I really I like the looks of this kid at 20 years of age, the maturity in his game, his skating ability already. A couple more seasons gaining strength. Like I see, not 2 camps from now, but 3. He'll have a spot in the lineup, but contracts coming up too. Look at that too. Again, I like how he finishes the checks, gets to them, and this is against Hershey a couple of weeks ago. Check out the freaking. He has haymakers, man. Now again, that's a 20-year-old. He can fight. He can really chuck him. I saw it in junior too. Like the kid's got length. He's got he can really throw him. So that will be a nice thing to have in the Habs lineup in 2 to 3 years as well. So I think he'll make a big step next year. Pascal's, kind of just easing him into the lineup here, playing him. When you compare it to Jared Davidson's rookie year, like Thorpe's not sitting out, and he's playing, more than 10 minutes a game. So he's playing more than Davidson did. And you saw the progression that Davidson made in the second year. Well, I think you're going to see a similar thing with Thorpe, where next year he'll be a top 9 forward on the team. He'll kill penalties because I think he's just made for it. Well, he's friggin', like I say, he's like a third defenseman out there a lot of the time. So utilize that, the size, strength, length, ability to read the play. Like he's cut out to be a penalty killer for sure. Like, Yoel Armia replacement with time down the road. There are some similarities in their game, actually, the two of them. So I like them a lot. I think like Jack probably plays on the Habs in a couple of years, year or two. But this kid, I think it's beyond probably, it's likely. Like I really think that he will be a Montreal Canadian regular 2 to 3 years from now. So not next year, maybe not the year after, but certainly by, 3 years from now, 25, 26, 26, 27. Sometime in 2028, he's going to be playing for the Montreal Canadiens. I'd be surprised if he's not. So anyway, that's a look at Thorpe and Armia. Yes. Yep. Tyler has the size of the great Larry Robinson. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Got the height anyways. That's for sure. So Islanders are going to win. Suffering succotash. Oh, well. You know what? The Canadians can't worry about what other teams are doing. They just got to keep winning, baby. Win again tonight. Get 104, 106 points. Then it's moot, right? I think the Habs are going to get 104 to 106 points. And it just won't matter what the other teams are doing. Just kind of came to me this out, I'm like, why am I worrying about this? They're gonna make it on their own. They worry about if other teams are winning or losing, just freaking keep winning. So Tampa's up 3-2. All I ask is that it doesn't go to overtime. I mean, I was fine with Ottawa winning that game because I think Montreal could still catch Tampa. They play them 2 more times. They win those games, they're basically tied. So, they hold their destiny in their own hands here. So, let's get to a few of your questions here. Drum Dude's on board. Hey, he's a gamer. Yeah. Thorpe. I like the maturity in his game. Really high floor, as far as I'm concerned. He plays. I'd be shocked if he's not NHL lineup someday. Like there's just too many things that he can bring to a lineup in a bottom 6 role that they're going to help you. And like I say, we haven't seen the offense yet, but not a lot there. I can list a lot of big 20-year-olds that play in the AHL that, it takes them a couple of years to acclimate, right? He's doing it the right way, coming in, taking care of his own zone first and foremost, winning the trust of his teammates and his coach. And next year, like I've seen progression in his game too, quite a bit, just from the start of the year till now. I also think you might see him have a really good playoff. I like that he's been put with guys like, Kandata and Blais. That's a nice line, but he's also played with Jack too, and I like that combo because they could be a duo down the road. I think in Montreal as well, part of the thump line, right? And as Chris 91 says here, just what we need. Yeah, he feels a need there. Panthers playing down 5-2 and playing with an empty net with 2 to go. Yeah. Well, again, I'm not going to worry about the Islanders. They need to worry about the Canadians, right? Canadians are the ones in front, so worry about the teams behind you. Just freaking don't lose. That's all. Just win, baby. Keep winning. SHL today. I was looking at Vigo Bjork got sent back to Garden juniors, so he's playing junior. They got Stockselius, Drott, Bjork, pretty stacked. And they're playing like the first-ranked team, and they're beating them pants off them. No surprise with Bjork in the lineup. 3 points today. He's almost too good for Swedish Junior, and it's his draft year. Imagine that, eh? Ottawa losing. Again, I'm not. I don't really, it doesn't bother me. That's fine. Likely concussion protocol for left-handed Makar. Facial fracture and/or dental injury also possible. Yeah. Oh. Dr. Haryas Gruwal just weighed in on video that I posted of Carson Carroll's. I guess he got. I posted a video of him getting hit last night, and he missed the rest of the game. So scouts aren't too happy. Might be stroking that off of their list. The Eastern crossover scouts crossing off Prince George as a destination over the next month or two. But that's too bad. I hope he doesn't miss much time. He'd be, geez, Canada could sure use him in the U18s if Prince George gets eliminated. Montreal is the third best record in their last 10 league-wide right now. Geez, you wouldn't have thought that 5 games ago, eh? But tightened up defense and good goaltending, amazing what it can do for you, right? Okay, folks, we're a little quiet here. We have 60 people here. Hit the like button if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Those that have shown up here. Get back to the scoreboard here for a sec. 6 minutes left, Tampa, Ottawa. Tina's upstairs clenching her teeth. She wasn't too happy when Tampa came back and tied it. Put it that way. If the scores remain, that score remains, Islanders back up to 5th. Of course, 3 games, a point behind Montreal, but Montreal with 3 games in hand. So, yeah, Islanders up to 5th, a point over Boston, Pittsburgh, but they have 2 games in hand, 2 points over Columbus, and again, 2 games in hand. Loss today wouldn't be good for the Sens. They keeps them in 10th, but still a point back of Columbus, with Columbus having a game in hand. Makes it tougher for them, but yeah, they'll be trying their damnedest to get back and tie that game up. Kucherov's not playing and Hedman's not playing, so they're missing 2 big guns, Tampa, today, but they still have a pretty good squad. If Tampa holds on and wins, it's top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, 96, 96, 96, which is pretty crazy. And we'll be keeping a close eye on the scoreboard tonight again, even though, like I say, it's just take care of your own business here, and you don't have to worry about it too much. Hey, Grant, I'm heading to the Laval game tonight. We moved to Scranton from Montreal, and I've been a Habs fan since 69-70. Good day, sir. Well, that's pretty neat. Wow, I've been a Habs fan since 70-71, so yeah, that's great. Well, I hope they play well tonight. Somebody, I've been like I posted something on maybe I'll see if I can get it up here. I posted a little something about Pickford. He has 56 goals in his last 64 games, going back to his the playoffs last year. 56 goals in 64 games, and he's on a 9-game playoff goal scoring streak. Isn't that something else? And, people posting like, and I keep seeing it, and it just kind of amazes me. Like, how do people well, he might bust because the top WHL goal scorers all time didn't become NHLers.
For a lane, seam pass, one time they score!
There's their little dance. To find out what that dance is all about, but I don't know. Dancing on skates. But this was his goal last night. And again, you just, the release, goalies don't stand a chance. It's just bing and deadly accurate. I don't think he misses the net. Anyway, that was Pickford again last night. But, Marc-Andre Bergeron, or why does it have to be? You judge the play, every player is different. Just because you're the best defensive goal scorer ever doesn't mean that's only who you can compare to. Like Marc-Andre Bergeron couldn't check his hat. He was 5'9". Pickford's nothing like Marc-Andre Bergeron. The only thing in common that they ever had was the fact that they both scored a lot of goals at one point. So, I made a point, where is it? Yeah. There appears to be a movement to compare Bryce Pickford exclusively to high-scoring junior defensemen who largely failed at the NHL level. Might I remind folks that Bobby Orr, Danny Potvin, Paul Coffey, and many others were elite goal scorers in junior as well. It doesn't mean that Pickford's going to be the next Bobby Orr. Doesn't mean he's going to be the next Potvin. It certainly doesn't mean he's going to be the next Marc-Andre Bergeron. That's not how that it's a silly way to look at. You look at the player, you scout the player, and you judge from that, not from 50 years ago, Timbuktu scored 50 goals, and he never made the NHL. So Pickford's never going to make the NHL because he's the next guy to score that many in the WHL. It must mean that they're the exact same. They're carbon copies of each other. It makes no sense at all. And I don't get that logic, but I've seen it. Every time I post something about Bryce Pickford, somebody on X comes up with that logic. And it's like, where do you get that? Why does that even enter your brain? It's silly. It's what it is. Back to Thorpe for a sec here. His goals against average this season, and that is goals against per 60, is 1.79. This is a rookie playing in the AHL. So every 60 minutes that he's on the ice, he's on for a goal against every 1.79, fewer than 2 goals against per 60 minutes. Laval's goals against average this year, by the way, 252. So he's plus 0.73 every 60 minutes in goals against differential when he's on the ice. Again, as I'll remind you, the youngest player on the team, right? That's mighty impressive that he's probably leading the team in goals against average. Again, as a friggin' 20-year-old rookie in the AHL, and a 6'4", 6'5" one that can frickin' fight, that's physical, and can shoot and will score goals that you watch next year, he'll be a 15 to 25 goal scorer in the AHL. I'm fairly confident of that. Skates well too, so really like him. But this thought process on Pickford, like, come on, like it doesn't make any sense. And also, I don't know why it is. And every time, like I posted that nice spinorama move by Reinbacher, and I keep getting people, well, I've watched him all year, and I watched him last week, and he was terrible, and he and I've been watching him all year, and I'm not impressed. Yeah, well, then you don't know frickin' hockey, like go, because there has been this narrative from the media, especially, that, oh, he's struggling and all of these friggin', they come out of the woodwork oh, well, I don't, there's more negativity about David Reinbacher because he hasn't played in the NHL yet. Everybody's friggin' impatient and thinks, oh, well, I know hockey, but they aren't really paying much attention to him at all. All they're doing, because there's this negativity around him for some stupid reason, and it's only because of the media and only because of the friggin' fact that, he's been injured and he hasn't played yet. So that's got, that apparently is a negative, that all they look for is when he makes a mistake. Doesn't dawn on them, hey, for a guy that's played 70 games at the pro level, he's poised. He freaking, the way he moves the puck, the way he boxes out, the way he can finish checks, his shot, the way he moves the puck in the offensive zone on the power play, all of those things are highly impressive. But they wait, and if he makes if a pass gets intercepted or it goes, oh, well, forget the fact that he's 6'3.5" and can cover the friggin' ice, both sides of the ice by himself. He made a mistake, so he's not any good because the media's been complaining about him. It's just, it just gets tiresome when you know hockey and you know that it takes time, and that you know that he's freaking good. Like, you scout for 20 years and then these yahoos come out and oh no, he's no good. Like, it just buzz off. I just get tired of it. There's my rant. So I don't want to see any of these comments in the live chat. I'm giving you a warning. Trollers be gone. Donnie McCaskill. See, I just have to rant and then the money comes in, eh? Well, what else can I rant about? The price of gas. Jesus, Murphy. Thanks, Don. I appreciate that donation. 4-2 final. Tampa Bay. Tied for first with Buffalo. Buffalo all of a sudden's on a little bit of a slide. 96, 96, 96. Unbelievable. Why don't I just do this? I will capture take a snapshot here. Snip. Just to show folks just how tight things are in the old Atlantic Division. Oh, there's Mark. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mark. So, Tampa Bay Now, win percentage-wise, first place, 96 points. Buffalo, 96. Montreal, 2 games in hand. Now they're looking at see if we can catch Buffalo. It's not. It's probably the fact that they play Tampa 2 more times and Buffalo's on a little bit of a skid here. Yeah, you never know. Does Buffalo play Tampa? Does anyone know that? I haven't checked that, but it'd be nice if they played each other twice more or something like that. Because I'd really like to see Montreal get home ice in the first round, but it's not looking good, is it? Third place is pretty much, well, that guaranteed that you don't get home ice. But Boston fourth, 88, but played one more game than the Habs. So the Habs need to win tonight. Keep that a 4-point spread. Thank you very much. Detroit, 86 points, 2 back of Boston. Senators, 86, but only 9 games left now. And Toronto and Florida bringing up the rear. What a difference a year makes, eh? Almost flipped the friggin' standings from last year. Anyway, so that's your Atlantic Division standings right now. Montreal 251, actually third in goals now in the Atlantic behind Tampa and Buffalo. But nice to see them at near the top in goals for. How many freaking decades has it been? Boring hockey is gone. They're anything but boring. You can say a lot about Marty St. Louis, but he doesn't play boring hockey, that's for sure. All right, Buffalo, Tampa, April 6th at home. Well, okay. Just don't go to overtime. So if Montreal can beat Tampa twice, right? Tampa beats Buffalo that night. Who knows? Maybe at that point Montreal's tied with those guys at the top of the standings. We'll see. I don't think Montreal's row your boat's very good this year, eh? So, I don't think a tie. Montreal doesn't win too many tiebreakers if the teams are tied, right? Because too many wins in overtime. Call Mr. Saturday Night. See how Mr. Saturday Night is tonight. Donnie thinks Reinbacher will play before the playoffs and be a key player in the playoffs. I don't know. I got thinking about that today, Don, and I mean, I've been calling for it, and I wish it was the case, but you know what? I'm always talking about you need veterans in Montreal's blue line, 24.7 years of age, and if you bring in Reinbacher and take out Carrier, it's 23.1, and no team that young has ever, come close to winning a cup. It almost goes against the principle of what you need at playoff time, experience on the blue line, to bring in yet another defenseman with not only fewer than 200 games or 201 games, because I guess Gooley now has played 200 games officially. Yet another defenseman in the lineup with fewer than 201 NHL games of experience. Chris Pronger said the other day, and I think he remembers it. I remember Denny Potvin saying it all the time, but you don't really know what you've got in a defenseman until he's played 300 games in the NHL. And Montreal has 4 that haven't played 300 games in the NHL yet. So do you add a 5th? I mean, as much as I'd like to see Reinbacher in the lineup in the playoffs, I think the thinking is that, and then we've seen Marty as the year's gone along here. Who's out on the ice at the end of games? It's the veterans, right? He's got Matheson, he's got Carrier, he's got Deneau, he's got Evans, he's got Suzuki, he's got Anderson. The vets play at the end of the game. So who's he going to rely on crunch time in the playoffs this year? I suspect he'll lean on the vets. So the more time goes on and Reinbacher doesn't get called up, I think they're looking at, young man, you stay down. You and Engstrom stay down there. Go on a long AHL playoff run. Play 20 minutes plus a night. Just keep gaining that pro experience. Like AHL playoffs is is almost as good as mid-November back-to-back game. Teams playing back-to-back. It wouldn't be far below that level, that caliber of hockey. So good experience for a couple of young defensemen and the whole team, all of the young players, to play in that situation in a playoff, 20 minutes a game, gain that valuable experience, have a good off season, put on another 5 pounds of muscle, go into camp next year and just win a spot outright. Just say, okay, my time has come. You can't cut me. Put me in the line. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be right defense. What I've heard from the experts is that the WHL is having a down year because of the players that left. That in mind, there should be a bunch of players scoring at a higher clip than Pickford. Yeah, you would think, eh? But they all left. I don't know. So 6 good players leave. What's also happened is that good young players from other good young players from the U.S. that can now go play in the WHL and still be college eligible are playing. So, it's improved. It's improved at the 16-year-old, 17-year-old level. There's more good players playing because now they can still be eligible to go play college. But what it's also meant is, guys who originally were going to play, like you say, all these guys leaving. Basha was going to play in college, but because McCaskill and Lindstrom and these guys went, well, all of a sudden there was no spot for Basha. So he came back and played. So there's a few instances of that too, and you got to keep that in mind as well. Well, another $5 from Don. Thank you, buddy. Why we appreciate you. Wisdom. Reinbacher and Blau will have NHL time before the season is done. I hope so, buddy. I really do. Here's hoping. I really want to see Reinbacher. He'll be the first defenseman since, as I've noted before, going back to the LA Kings. And of course, right now, his name escapes me, and he's I think he's commentator with ESPN. I will have him up in a minute. Thomas Hickey, the last top 4 defense pick. And that was 2007, so it's going back 19 years, folks, since a player picked in the top 5 had not played at least one game by the age of 21. Thomas Hickey, the last one, he was drafted in 2007. So we're going back 19 years, folks. 19 frigging years. And I bet you if you go back another 19 years, you might find one more, example of a defenseman picked top 5 that didn't play before the age, by the age of 21. Eric Johnson was top 5, and he, Jack Johnson, he played by 21. The year before, it's 2004. Cam Barker, he played at 20 years of age in the NHL. He was a bust, but he played at 20. So 2003, top 5. There was no defenseman picked in the top 5 in 2003. 2002, Pitkanen. Oh, he played at 19. Bouwmeester, 18. He was playing the AHL. Ryan Whitney, he was there. So Ryan Whitney. So 2 in the last 24 years that were top 5 picks didn't play before the age of 22. He was 22 when he made his debut with the Penguins. So again, it's rare. And if I go back another 5 years, you probably don't see it again. Whitney played 3 years college, then 2 in NCAA. Or sorry, 2 in the American League. So it's rare. Absolutely. Bring on Buffalo. Anthony, right on, buddy. Ooh, I like your Jean Beliveau avatar. That's a beauty. Beliveau was the man. Montreal has too many OT games this year. Yeah. The tie breaks are not in their favor. Reinbacher isn't far behind any other drafted D-man that year. Isn't far behind. He's not behind any of them. Pelika got sent back down. He should have never been up in the first place. Like, Montreal's doing it right here. It's just they are following the old Detroit path, and it's funny that Detroit, now they rush a guy. 15 years ago, it was the exact opposite, right? They had a good team, and they had vets, and they didn't rush young players. They kept them there till they were, didn't keep them up with the big team until they were no longer waiver eligible. Or they make the team, but they'd have guys percolating in minors for 3-4 years till they're damn good and ready. They won, I think they won a cup or two, Calder Cup or two, because of that. Don't be surprised if you see that with Laval over the next couple of years, that they win a cup. There's no rush on the good young players till they're overripe, as Kent Hughes, the excuse he used. No, well, exactly. Pelika played, and he's back down in the minors already. But hey, there shouldn't be guys that have played more because he was the top 5 pick. He was the top defenseman picked, right? But I still, like, as far as I'm concerned, still the top defenseman. Till further notice, no one else looks like a better defenseman from that draft class. It wasn't a banner year for defensemen. I mean, 3 were picked in the top 16, and that's rare, right? Usually there's a lot more than that. Willander's played 18 games, but again, that's with Vancouver, and they friggin', Reinbacher played all year if he was in Vancouver. And Simashev, well, they tried him. He wasn't ready. He started the season, and it was like, oh, okay. He still needs to go back. He still needs to go down and get some AHL seasoning. So they sent Simashev down. I'm actually a little surprised by his point total here. 34 points in 37 games, because I don't see a lot of offense from him, to be honest with you. But good for him. He's gone down and picked up some points. What does he need to work on still? Yeah. By the way, Kinger, you're on X, eh? You want to join the live chat? Come to my YouTube channel, HabsCast on YouTube, and it's a lot more interactive there if you don't mind. He just needs experience, just sense from game reps, playing any style, just as you asked. That's it. That's all. Yeah. Thanks, Kinger. Yeah, but you got it right. Just game sense from reps playing North American game style. You answered your own question. You're dead on. That's all he needs. A little more experience. I don't think he even really needs it. I think he's ready. But anybody else here? We're up to 86. People are coming by. Lots of folks here. Start asking questions. I'll go a little longer here. Do we know who's starting yet? It's funny that Carey Price said that Fowler kind of reminds him of himself, eh? That being the case, I guess they better not ever get Fowler to go up on stage and call out the name of the Montreal's first pick in the draft. Heard Fowler, but not confirmed. Yeah, I think it might be Fowler. Doesn't really matter. It'll be the other guy tomorrow anyways, right? B. Kinger. I know who you are. You switched over, eh? Kinger? Thanks. Burger Kinger. Dovish has the start? Okay. Just getting into the draft class, B. Kinger. I like the defense class this year. There's a lot of good good defensemen. As far as the tiers go, I mean, there's a group at the top. I like Carroll's and Smith's probably the most, but Reed's close. Verhoff is in that mix, and so is Rudolph. Right now, I like Rudolph more than Verhoff, and a lot of NHL guys do too. He's really risen up the ranks, and that'll be a surprise to some. But Verhoff, starting to see a few warts there. I don't know how smart a player he is. There's some issues defensively with him. Puck decisions, stuff like that. He's got, he's a big kid, can get some points, can skate, but don't know about his hockey sense, and that's a huge thing when it comes to defensemen. As far as the next group would be, I mean, Gustafsson's in there. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here, but maybe I'll bring up a list just to kind of guide me. I like Tommy Blyle a lot, Moncton. I think I like him even more than Villeneuve at this point. I really like Tommy Blyle. Ryan Lynn. Like Lynn and Blyle and Villeneuve are in the next kind of tier. Gustafsson, he might be ahead of all three of those guys. Very good, well thought of defenseman. McBeath is pretty solid. Judging by this, Blyle, like 35th on Central Scouting, he's underrated. Kid's really good. Like I like him a lot, and there's an NHL guys are on board too. Pipperainen is the other kid he might be in that 15 to 25 class in that tier. Hawkinson's also pretty. Sherbakov, the kid out of Russia, they're all fairly highly regarded. But those are the main guys. Bilecki in Kitchener, early second, probably. Something like that. I sent a message out to Bob McKenzie a couple days ago, and he'll fill me in on Bilecki, because his son Mike is the GM there, and he's following it pretty close. So I'll get the lowdown on Bilecki soon from Bob when he finds the time in his retired life to answer my email. That was the projected lineup, but who knows? Well, kind of hard to take Strubes out now, right? I think Strub will be playing again. Do I see McKenna going to the Worlds? I don't know. Maybe. Wouldn't be the first time they've done that, right? Yeah, you might. Have you noticed that the talking heads are giving lots of love for Zborowski? Yeah. I think that they're maybe overblowing it a little bit, looking at I talked to several executives. Yeah, which probably means two. And then they haven't really been watching them. Just look at the stats and the highlights, Hey, there's no doubt that Zborowski, I mean, if you've been watching the videos that I post, he's like what people see on social media are the highlights. And of course, you look at any player's highlights, they look like the friggin' star. But when you post all of the, like I do, and the good and the bad, there's things to work on. He's not he can't stay up with. He's going to have to be a better skater and a better away from the puck, or he won't play at all. So ceiling high, floor low at this point, and you hope that the floor does this, and then he turns into a hell of a player. But do I think he'll? There's certainly no guarantee he'll be a top 6 player in Montreal. Right now, I don't see it, but that doesn't mean. It also means Montreal's going to have a hell of a team, and they could have a dangerous third line down the road. Should Struble play on the right, Hudson on the left? I've thought about that, but I don't know. Struble's just getting comfortable here, so now do you mess with that, right? He's played. He played him 5 or 6 straight games. He's comfortable. He's playing well. So maybe you shouldn't mess with that. Hudson can play either way. Even him struggling on the right is still probably the best left defenseman on the right side, if that makes sense. Even when he's kind of struggling, he's still better than anybody else. Like better than Matheson on the right, better than Gooley on the right, better than Jack-Eye on the right. You know what I mean? So I don't know that you've got Struble comfortable, playing well. Maybe you don't tinker with that right now and keep him where he is. But it is something that I have considered because Struble played a fair bit on the right in college, and he was pretty solid. He was pretty solid on that side. So it's an option. If Lane continues to have some hiccups and struggles there, maybe they consider that. The other thing is maybe they consider calling up Reinbacher, right, Donnie? That would be the other option available to them. Let's see if the college game wouldn't have started yet, would it? Anaheim's getting underway. I haven't really paid a hell of a lot of attention to the other conference. Been too busy worrying about the East. But let's have a look here at the West right now. Anaheim's in 4th place. They're in Quenneville. Of course, they had such a good young core. It was one of these years they were going to, just like Montreal, just kind of make that next step. Although with Montreal, it was 2 steps because they made that step last year, and they're making another one this year. But Anaheim's 4th in the West, and with 87 points, they would be tied with Columbus. They'd be fighting for the last wild card. But Edmonton, 82 points, 5th place. Utah, 80. Vegas, 79. Nashville, 77, 8th place. So, Nashville's a tough place to play. They've got a lot on the line tonight. They'll want to win, that's for sure. That'll be a tough game tonight. Hopefully, old Stamkos shows up tonight. The one that was washed up earlier in the year, folks were telling me, not everyone, but some. I remember getting all he's washed up. No, I just watched him. He's not washed up. And he weren't. Would McKinnon want to risk an injury right before the draft? Draft eligible guys go play in the Worlds all the time. He wants to be first overall in the draft. Might be a bad idea to go. You can't worry about risk an injury. I mean, the Worlds is a good experience, hockey experience for you. He's a hockey player. He's certainly not going to what if I get injured? Get injured, you got all off season to get, it's not like he's going to miss games, right? Do you see an NHL center in Hage, or would it take some more work, like a season or two in the AHL? I'd be fine with him as a top six winger. Hey, Ryan, thank you for the question. Fairly, you don't ask too many. Well, you're sort of. Do you see an NHL center, or would it take some more work? Like, do I see an NHL center right away? You mean? No. I could see him come in and play on the wing. The Canadians could use a winger on the second line, I think. So that's a possibility. We'll see about this injury too, right? We don't know if he's even going to play the rest of the year. Like, it's a possibility that, he's out, but I hope not. Like, he's not going to come in and play second line center in Montreal at the end of this year, and probably not next year. Could he in the future? Yeah. I think he's got that capability, but he'll have to keep working on his defense. He'll have to improve his draws and get experience. Would it be in the AHL maybe, or it could be, cut his teeth on the wing in Montreal, keep working on his face-offs and practice all the time, keep getting mentored by Suzuki and Deneau and Evans and the like. And, eventually get some time in the center and eventually move to center. It depends on Kapanen. It depends on Hage. Depends if they pick up another center down the road. Maybe they try to get a center the off season. So they're, I'm not going to make any bold predictions, like steadfast predictions one way or another about whether he, I'm not as like Simon Snake likes to make emphatic predictions. I'd rather not. Like, who knows, right? I mean, I could say, he's going to be the second line center for the Habs for a decade, but there's question marks there. It depends on Kapanen, depends on his development in the face-off circle and defensively at the pro level, and it's not easy. It's not easy to step in like what Kapanen's done as a rookie to kill penalties, to go up against other teams, not only second line, but a lot of nights it's been top line, especially when they're on the road. He's had to face, I think Kapanen has faced every top center in the league at one point or another this season. Like, you name it. Crosby, he was up against him head-to-head. McKinnon, up against him head-to-head. Like, on and on. McDavid, he had to face them all and, did a half-decent job. People have talked about, well, they've spent so much time, in their own zone. Well, when you're matched up against McKinnon and McDavid and Crosby, and so you're going to spend a lot of time in your own zone, especially as a rookie. Like, that goes for Demidov too. Like, two rookies, and they've had to face many of the league's top lines and done okay. Well, are they going to now say, okay, Hage, you're next? Probably not. Not right away. Cappy's got that year under his belt now. He's likely to be the second line center next year, I would think. He's older, more mature. He's got the experience now. He's better on faceoffs than Hage at this point. So we'll see. But I don't like to make emphatic predictions, declarations on what a player will be. I think Hage is anywhere from a third line winger to a first line winger, or third line center to a first line winger, right? If he doesn't play on the wing on one of the top two lines, he's going to center the third line, I would think. If he, will he, and he could also perhaps center the second line. So third line center, second line center, or top winger in one of the top two lines is likely, and if worst case scenario, third line winger, but a hell of a third line winger. Like the Canadians will have a Stanley Cup contender for sure at that point. Pierre Leclerc, there's a new name. Thorpe is impressive and Davidson too, but before calling on them, Arbor should be given playing time first. But St. Louis doesn't protect its players. Okay, so Arbor should be given playing time at forward, you mean, Pierre? Or are you talking about Florian? You think that Arbor should be on the wing? Like given a chance on the wing? Like Thorpe isn't going to be called up for a couple of years, so we got a couple of years of whatever happening here. But you think in the meantime that they should convert? They should convert Arbor to a fourth line thumper winger. I know a lot of people talk about it. I don't think they're going to do it, but I see him as a Marner-esque first line. He's certainly bigger than Marner. That'd be nice. I was in a bit of a tete-a-tete on Twitter the other day. The Arbor Jack-Eye fan club was out as usual and saying, gotta turn him into a winger. And I did point out the fact that, not many defensemen are converted into wingers. And somebody was saying, well, you got to have your forcer playing at forward. You can't have him playing on defense. So turn him into a winger. Well, name the last NHL defenseman that was an enforcer that got turned into a winger. Like a regular winger. And somebody brought up, and I mean, it's the closest example, but you got to go back 50 years to Rick Chartraw, right? But Rick Chartraw was not a regular. He played just as much or more on defense than he did in wing when he did play, and he wasn't a notable scrapper. He could handle himself, but he certainly wasn't the club enforcer. He wasn't as tough as Larry or or Butch or, you know, Lupien or so. It's just you don't convert defensemen to wingers very often, and certainly if you do, I see someone mentioning Bufflin. No, Bufflin went from forward to defense. His last 8 years in the league, he played defense. He played a little bit of forward, and again, he wasn't an enforcer. He was 270 pounds, and he'd sit on somebody, but you know, he wasn't an enforcer. Bufflin. No. Bufflin didn't play any on the wing in Winnipeg. He played a little bit of forward. It was the other way around. He didn't go from being a defenseman to a forward. Larocque. No, Larocque wasn't a defenseman. He's a winger. Keep trying, guys. You're not going to come up with one. An enforcer defenseman converted to a regular winger. You can't name any. So, you know, typically the rare occasion that it's happened that a defenseman got converted to a winger was because he was a freaking goal scorer. Right? He could provide offense. Like the guys that kind of switched back and forth a little bit in the past 30 years that played a little defense, little offense, and Burns and Bufflin, and they were offensive because they could score goals, right? Not because they were, you know, well, you need an enforcer that's on the wing, so we're going to convert this defenseman into a winger so he can be our enforcer. You can't come up with one example of that ever in the history of the NHL. So, you know, how would line of Lafleur shut Lemaire fare as a line today? Huh? Wendell Clark. Never played a game on defense in the NHL. At 18 years of age, he went from being a defenseman to a winger. And he was a 40-goal scorer, so right? Arbor Jackie's not going to be a 40-goal freaking scorer. I hope you got a better estimate on your muffler repair, Grant. Yeah. Jason, that's the closest example you can get to, right? A number one overall pick who never played at 18 years of age, went from being a defenseman to a winger, not at 25, 24, after playing 4 years in the NHL, right? Like that conversion was done when he was still a teenager, not a friggin' 24-year-old NHL, 4-year NHL veteran, right? Like fair bit of difference there, but that's the closest that you can come up with as far as a guy that, well, he wasn't an enforcer in junior. He was a freaking high-scoring defenseman that was tough, right? But what he did become in the NHL was a power, like a, you know, tough as nails, 40-goal scoring winger. That's, I hate to break it to people, but that's not what, you know, Arbor Jacki is not going to become a 40-goal scoring power forward winger in the NHL at 25 years of age. It'd be nice, but I hope you get a better estimate. No, I'm not. I've had it for 2 years, so, I mean, I didn't go in because of my muffler. It was like discovered. Oh, yeah, I know. I know that there's, it's a little louder. I just turn up the volume. So no rush on the muffler. Eventually here, I'll get a good, Marty McSorley. Again, from defense to winger. It was the other way around with McSorley. He kind of went winger to defense. It's not, I'm talking a guy that played all the time on defense, was in the NHL, and they said, okay, we're making you a full-time winger. It was the opposite with McSorley. He played some early in his Pittsburgh and stuff up front, right? And then became a defenseman for the most part. So I'm telling you, folks, you can't find a pure example of it. Like Marty, his first, he had, he became a defenseman. He wasn't a freaking winger. We're not talking about converting a winger to a defenseman. We're talking about converting a defenseman to a winger, because that's Arbor is a defenseman. Jaka won't be with the Habs next year. Should end that conversation. Yeah, it's true. Geez, I'm bringing up Arbor again, turning it into an Arbor conversation. I'm guilty of it this time, Mark. Ban myself. Can I ban myself here? What am I, the freaking injured reserve information bureau or what? People always ask me. I don't know if he was injured in this game. Was he? Your guess is as good as mine. Let me go to the game. Bryce Pickford. Are you thinking of Carson Karls, perhaps? Getting the two mixed up? I hope so. Games. Carson Karls got injured last game. Defenseman I have ranked first overall. Pickford played 23 minutes, so odds are that he didn't get injured. Let's see. I'm going to have a look at his last shift here. See when it came. Well, 6:40 left. He didn't play the last 6 minutes, maybe. Let's see if something happened here. Oh, yeah. Hurt a shoulder. Son of a bitch. Really? Wasn't much of a friggin'... Let me just get this. I'll get a clip of this and you guys can see. Makes you wonder if that wasn't what was hurting him before, because that shouldn't have knocked him out. Thanks for the tip. See? I didn't have these live chats, I wouldn't. It was just like Hage, yeah, on just before I did the podcast the other day. What's wrong with Michael Hage? What? Huh? I don't know what's wrong with him. And then I'm scrambling to get a highlight. All right, I will download this and let everybody see. And I'm sure there's a doctor in the house. It's funny, I showed the I posted a clip of the Carls hitting a doctor. Dr. Sunjaw, somewhere. Well, looks like he has a fractured jaw, and there's a bunch of Dr. Reckies out there online, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just getting the Pickford injury here.
Tigers with speed across the pat line. Pickford cuts to the slot. Checked in front by Deschamps, who will sweep it around the wall. That's cut off by Marcus Ruck. Marcus to the slot for Liam. Pushed off the puck, and Zapats will find it and clears with speed across the pat line. Pickford cuts to the slot. Checked in front by Deschamps, who will sweep it around the wall. That's cut off by Marcus Ruck. Marcus to the for the Tigers with speed across the pat line. Pickford cuts to the slot. Checked in front by Deschamps, who will sweep it around the wall.
It certainly doesn't look serious, does it? But it doesn't take much sometimes to, like the little love tap on Shabbat, and he's out for friggin' 6 to 8 weeks. But it makes you wonder. Don't tell me he's got shoulder issues and something like that, re-injured what had kept him out before. So that's what it looks like, because that shouldn't be knocking the guy out. But he didn't play the last 6 minutes of the game. Gary Lehman. Enforcer Gary Lehman, Don? I missed that era. What time is Hage supposed to stir? What time is Hage supposed to stir? I don't know. Yeah. He wasn't an enforcer, Doc. Saw Habs prospect thumbnail, then it disappeared. What? Lehman was a failure as a Leaf and won a cup with the Habs. Yes, he did. But safe to say, Gary Lehman was never an enforcer. He did play a little bit of defense, but he was predominantly a winger, and he certainly wasn't an enforcer. Soft as baby, you know what? He wasn't. I don't know. Like his last 6 years in Toronto, he certainly didn't play defense. But he had played a bit of defense in junior and his first year with the Leafs. But 30 goals, 31 assists, 32 goals, 43 assists, 51 goals, 44 assists. Those aren't the stats. 17 goals, 12 assists. Those aren't the stats of a defenseman. If I recall correctly, his first year with the Leafs, he kind of played defense, but then they finally said, "Ooh, He's not very big. You know, the reason why he was put up on the wing was because he was too soft on defense, right? He could score a lot of points. So it's kind of the opposite of why these people are suggesting that, you know, you don't want an enforcer on the blue line, so you put him on the wing. Again, can you come up with one example? And nobody has yet. So the closest thing to it was Rick Chartraw, like I say, 50 years ago, and he still played the majority of his games when he played. He was never a regular with the Habs. But when he played, when he was in the lineup, it was usually on defense. Now and then they'd put him, but it was usually Jim Roberts, and Roberts was another guy that, you know, Bowman had the two that that could play defense or the wing with Roberts and Chartraw. And I mean, it was Gainey, Jarvis, and sometimes Chartraw, but usually Jimmy Roberts playing on the other side. Well, you're not paying attention, Don. We're talking about moving an enforcer up to the wing. Oh, okay. Well, you gave me the answer. Okay. All right. You gave me the answer. Gary Leeman, enforcer Gary Leeman got moved up to forward. Okay. You win the prize, Don. Definitely not an enforcer, and a 50 goal as a Leaf. Wouldn't call it a failure. Yeah. No. So Pickford, I hope he's not out. I hope he's not out. That's for sure. I'm not saying that there's never been defensemen moved to forward, as people have been bringing up. There's quite a few. Well, I mean, not quite a few, but there have been a few. But it was never guys that, you know, they were moved to forward because they thought they could score goals. Well, Wendell Clark became a 40-goal scorer. Gary Leeman became a 50-goal scorer, you know. But nobody at 24 years of age that was playing defense in the NHL, who was thought to be an enforcer, got moved to the wing to be an enforcer. It's never, you know, the closest thing to it was Rick Chartraw 50 years ago, and he wasn't moved permanently to forward. He was a part-time winger, part-time defenseman, full-time sit in the press box kind of guy, Ricky Chartraw. Anyway, that was fun. Still haven't, like I say, nobody's come up. One of the Hanson brothers was one of them a defenseman and became a forward. Anyway, I don't think Arbor Jacki is going to be converted to forward, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make, because I can't think of a player of his ilk that ever was, and that it became, you know, that it worked. He's a good defenseman. He's still, you know, there's lots of defensemen that don't really find their way on a full-time basis in the NHL till like 25 to 27. There's some that don't really break through full-time till they're 28 or so. That might be the case with Arbor. You know, it wouldn't be the first guy. There's a lot of examples of defensemen that don't find a regular spot in an NHL lineup till they're 27, 28 years of age. It's not easy. There's only 6 of those spots on an NHL team. It's not an easy position to play. As Chris Pronger said this week, and it was a famous saying from Denny Potvin, like, you don't truly know what you have in an NHL defenseman until he's played 300 NHL games. Well, guess what? Arber has played 220 NHL games. So, you don't give up on him. He's a fairly solid defenseman. He's played defense all his life. He's now 25 years of age. He's not going to be converted to a winger. I just don't see it. He's a defenseman. That's what he's played all his life, and that's what he's going to keep playing. And he could still become a NHL regular. It may not be in Montreal. We'll see. I think he's got some value on the trade market there. Montreal has a very good, like a promising defense. There's still some struggles here at times because 4 of them have not played more than 220 NHL games yet. You know, Gooley hasn't played 221 games. Arber hasn't played 221 games. Strubes hasn't played 221 games. Hudson hasn't played 221 games. That's still one season below the 300 mark that Potvin and Pronger can both say, hey, you know, and Pronger is a good example of that. He didn't really find his way in the NHL like fully till, 3 or 4 years into his career, really. He even got traded. Pronger for Shanahan at one point. So, yeah. Jacker really should have a couple full years in the AHL. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might be regular minutes for another team. Yeah. Could be. And as far as Nick Delorier, again, he didn't play 5 years in the NHL, or at the age of 25, he wasn't converted to, if you are going to do the conversion on a guy, it's early, and it's not in the NHL after they've played 3 years and they're 25 years of age. It's, there's no NHLer at the age of 25 being converted to a forward. If at 25 you're playing defense in the NHL, that's what you play, especially if you're an enforcer. But anyways, good for people to come up with some names here. And none of them fit the profile of what folks are proposing here. That a guy that's never taken a shift at 25 years of age, who's played in the NHL the last 4 years, to suddenly be converted to an enforcer winger. I just don't see I don't see that happening. All right. So let's get on to the game here. Focus on non-Arber topics. I would think that Strubal's going to be in the lineup again tonight, right? Do people think that Doba should get the start? Projected lineup. Okay. And what about, so I guess it sounds like Texier's not going to be in, right? I would move up. Bolduc, give him a look on the second line, but I get it. Third line's was good, so keep him going, I guess. Marty St. Louis on choosing between Jackeye and Struble. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it should be good. I guess I'll get rolling here. I got to do another podcast in 5 hours. I hope you can join me after, and we'll. I hope it's kind of like the last Nashville game. That was actually the biggest audience I've gotten. Post-game audience I got was the last Nashville game. It was the last Nashville game was Montreal tied it in the last 10 seconds and then won it in overtime. And people were pretty excited, I guess, but we had like 2,700 that were viewing on X, and 2,000 or 3,000 ended up with like 5,000 that watched it all together on YouTube. So hoping for the same tonight. Maybe don't leave it to the last 9 seconds to tie it and then win it in overtime, but however they do it, hopefully they do it again, and hopefully we get a big gang out for tonight's game. Donnie, can't wait for the game. Go Habs, go. I'm with you, my friend. Calgary and Ottawa have interest in him from what's been rumored. Oh, there'll be a few teams probably interested in him. But again, hey, he's an undrafted friggin' player that's got an NHL job, NHL contract. He's played 75% of the games or more this year. You know, it's not like he's being poorly mistreated. He's a prima donna that's being railroaded here. You know, he is exactly what he's supposed to be as an undrafted, a guy that plays most of the time. He's got an NHL contract. He's a team guy. The Canadians want to keep him around, I would think. If they got to move him, they'll move him. But, he's a nice guy to have as a 7. Mind you, if they did move him, well, then what would we have to talk about? Right? Half the comments in the live chat, it'd be half. It'd be halved. Any injury news? No. Sorry, I don't have folks letting me know. The coach doesn't call me and say, Grant, Hage is going to be. Unfortunately, I don't friggin' have. I'm not a very good insider. I don't have those. I'm not buddy with a bunch of NHL agents and guys like that. So I can't help Manny. Sorry, buddy. I can't help you on the Hage injury news. Your guess is as good as mine. Kenny says coach was expecting him to play. Okay. Reading the fact that he wasn't laying on the ice and having to be carried off and that hopefully it means it's not a real serious injury and they were just being a bit precautionary. They played Bentley, right? And they were expected to win. And, next game will be a different story. They'll need all hands on deck. And I suspect if he's anywhere close to 100%, he'll go. He'll be in the lineup. Should play Fowler. Dovish is number one and should face the better team this weekend. Well, that's the other thing too, right? It's good to get Fowler in. It's been a week since he played. Get him in. Get him in the first one. Dovey in the second. And have him facing what's thought to be the better team. I agree. His coach was expecting him to play. All right. I better shut this down because, like I say, it's the double shift day. Thank you, everyone, for coming on board. Thanks for all the, there are a few names there that I hadn't thought about for a while. Like even Nick Delorier played some defense in junior hockey and stuff. You're right. He did. And that's probably the closest example you could get, an enforcer that at one point played defense that got moved to the wing. So I guess it's happened. It happens really rare, but again, they did it at the AHL level when he first started. It certainly wasn't, an established NHL defenseman in his mid-20s that they said, hey, let's move you to the wing here. Like it would have to be, I think, started at the AHL level to make that conversion. It's not easy, I just don't see it happening. I don't see all right, well, I think my whatchamacallit is I'm kind of losing. So it's telling me here, Grant, shut her down. Looking at that lineup that's projected for tonight, I like that Anderson is up with Evans and Bolduc. Seems to give that line an extra jolt. Yeah. I think Evans has been playing well enough to be up one line. I like him with Evans, Bolduc. I don't mind that as a trio. Definitely. Drum Dude, thanks, Grant. See you, folks. Go Habs, go. Just throwing out the name. Yep. Well, that's a good one. That's the closest you could get to somebody that, an enforcer that did play defense that moved up to the wing. So very good name. He just, again, it wasn't, he wasn't an established NHL defenseman that moved to the wing. He was a, no, Johnny, that was already brought up and mentioned, buddy. Gary Lehman. Gary Lehman? Yes, Enforcer Lehman. Donnie, we got to get together for a beer, buddy. See everyone after another Habs win tonight. Take care. Keep up the good work. I will. And Donnie, you gonna have a pint with me tonight? I'll be cracking one at the end of the game. For sure. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna cut this short at 2 hours, 1:58:12. Guess I got to do it now. Thanks, Don, for the 10 spot. That buys me my pints for tonight. Maybe I'll even have 3 if the Habs win. Sound good? All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you post game tonight. Go Habs, go.